This information is intended to be educational and not intended to give medical advice, diagnose, or treat any medical condition. Consult your healthcare provider before starting or stopping any prescription or over-the-counter products.
Hello everyone. This video is going to be about melatonin. And melatonin is classified as a hormone that your body produces naturally. And we mostly associate it with sleep because we need enough melatonin to go into REM or deep sleep, which allows us to feel rested, but it has many other benefits as well. It's a wonderful antioxidant, and at high doses it's been studied for the treatment of cancers. There actually was a study showing that women that were shift workers had a higher incidence of breast cancer. And some of this may be tied to melatonin or low melatonin, but we also know that there are factors such as a disruption of the circadian rhythm, and that may affect other things such as our microbiome and the balance of other hormones as well that could have played a role. Melatonin also improves the function of other antioxidants such as glutathione, which is the master antioxidant. Also vitamin C and vitamin E, so it recycles those, and so it prevents them from being depleted. And it's an antioxidant itself, and it scavenges for free radicals and neutralizes them, so it decreases free radicals. Melatonin is also neuroprotective. It's been studied in mood disorders and endothelial dysfunction, and it has cardiovascular benefits and benefits with metabolic syndrome. It's important for immune health as well because it's an immune system balancer, so it kind of is like a buffer for the immune system. It influences both the innate and the acquired immune system, and so initially it helps the body to mount a response against the invader, but then later on it controls and dampens the inflammatory response, and so it curbs excessive cytokine response later on. Melatonin can be depleted with some prescription medications, and then it also decreases with age. So children have the highest amount of melatonin. It's also decreased by cortisol, which is our stress hormone. And so in the morning, cortisol levels are the highest, and then as during the day they start to go down, and so in the morning when cortisol levels are the highest, melatonin is the lowest. And then as cortisol levels, they should come down during the course of the day, but if there's a spike of cortisol in the evening time, it can depress the release of melatonin right before bedtime. Morning sun exposure when natural blue light is at its highest is one of the best ways to maintain circadian rhythms and help with sleep. It actually increases melatonin production at night, and I started learning about our circadian rhythms and how they relate to each and every organ system and how our behaviors can either influence or disrupt this at a conference about 10 years ago, and it's really fascinating how it works. Melatonin production is suppressed by light and is stimulated by darkness. So even a brief exposure to light, say if you turn the light on in the middle of the night, for some reason can suppress melatonin. It's also decreased by blue light from devices like cell phones, tablets, and computers. So avoiding those before bedtime can maximize production of melatonin. It is released approximately around 10 in the evening, so it's a good idea to kind of time your bedtime around the maximum release of melatonin to help with sleep. It also does other things to get the body ready for sleep, like decreasing body temperature and blood pressure, which kind of helps the body acclimate to a shift from daytime to bedtime. There is a saliva test that can measure cortisol and melatonin levels in the body and in people with highly disrupted levels. And this test measures several cortisol levels and then several melatonin levels throughout the day, one being in the middle of the night with the lights turned off. It was thought that melatonin was only produced in the pineal gland in the brain, But we know now that it's also produced in other areas such as the GI tract and also in immune cells as well. Melatonin is made by the conversion of tryptophan to 5-HTP, and then from that to serotonin to melatonin, and it requires the B vitamin B6 in order for those conversions to take place. Most of our serotonin, which is our happy neurotransmitter, is produced in the gut. So if your gut isn't healthy, it may affect melatonin production, and so if your serotonin levels are low, then you may have low melatonin levels as well. So melatonin supplements. There are single agent supplements that just contain melatonin, and they are at varying doses, and some may be immediate release, which is good for those that are having trouble falling asleep. And then there's a controlled releases that are better for those that wake up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep. So the immediate release melatonin is quick dissolving tablets such as this one. Not all of them are quick dissolve tablets, but this one in particular is, and it is 3 milligrams, and this can be left at the bedside and taken if an individual is waking up in the middle of the night, and because it's quick dissolve, they can just pop it in the mouth and hopefully fall right back to sleep shortly. So the timing of when to take melatonin ranges from either 30 minutes before bedtime up to 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. And this is highly individualized, so you just have to play around with the timing to see which one works best for you and kind of go from there. There's some melatonin products that are controlled release, and this is an example of one of them. This is Melatonin CR, and this is designed for 1 milligram to be released immediately, and then the remaining of it to be released over time. So there's a little bit of it that helps to fall asleep initially, and then the rest of it that helps to stay asleep. And the timing of that is, again, like I had previously mentioned, anywhere from 30 minutes to 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, whatever works best for you. There's also combination products that have melatonin and other ingredients that help with sleep. The melatonin in those products are, for the most part, immediate release, and then they have herbs and other things in there that help with sleep as well, such as valerian, passion flower, lemon balm. Some of these products can contain 5-HTP, and that's added in there because it does convert to serotonin and then to melatonin. And these products may be okay for mood if they're taken on a consistent basis, but maybe not for short-term sleeplessness where you're taking it on an occasional basis. But that would be something to discuss with a healthcare provider, because 5-HTP in itself can interact with other prescription medications, and depending on your individual circumstance, it may or may not be the best choice for you. Melatonin is also taken for jet lag, and I would suggest trying to acclimate to your new time zone before you get there. That's the best thing that you can do. And once you do get to your point of destination, make sure you get morning sun exposure to let your body know when it is morning, and that will induce the natural release of melatonin at bedtime. Also, avoid blue light and other light pollution around bedtime. If you're in a hotel room or a new surrounding, kind of scope it out and look and see where there may be light sources that may reduce your release of melatonin at night, and then those are things that you can do naturally to kind of acclimate to your new time zone. And this is where a single melatonin agent would be helpful to get you to sleep in your new time zone. If you're on a long trip, this can be started in the airplane at the time that you would be going to sleep at your new time zone. Also, try to time your meals as best as possible to your new time zone, because when you eat affects your circadian rhythms and hormone release, such as insulin, and also your microbiome is highly dependent on your food and sleep cycle as well. So So for dosing of melatonin, some people may need a very low dose, such as 0.5 milligram or 0.5 milligrams, and others may need to work up to higher doses over time, maybe even up to 5 milligrams or more. And as with any information that I provide on any of my videos, be sure that you're getting help from your healthcare provider to find the best product for you and the best dose for you. And also other conditions or medications that may affect how melatonin works in your body, such as immunosuppressants. It's also best to use these on a short-term basis, as with any sleep aid. That goes for prescription sleep aids and even other over-the-counter sleep aids that have some sort of antihistamine. They actually have not been studied for long-term use, and there are many negative side effects that are associated with using them, but that'll be another video that I do hopefully in the near future. So I hope that this information was helpful. Leave a comment to let me know, and be sure to subscribe to my channel and share it with anyone that you think would benefit. Also follow me on Instagram and Facebook for more information on holistic and integrative health. And for more information about me, you can go to my website at www.radianceholistichealth.com.